about describing distributions. And the first part is, what is a distribution? What does that even mean? So a distribution is a graphical representation of all the possible values in a data set. And there's a bunch of different ways that you can graph values in a data set. The main graphs that we are going to talk about are a dot plot, a box plot, and a histogram. And these are all graphs that are review from Math 1. So first, a dot plot. It's just dots on a number line, and it shows the frequency of each value. So for example, 18 students were asked, how many Harry Potter books have you read? And these were their responses. So we make a number line, and then it's just showing, this is using X's instead of dots, but it's the same thing. It's just showing the frequency of each value. So for example, for 0, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 zeros. So we have 8 marks at 0. It's showing the frequency of those values. A box plot. A box plot is the one that has a box on a number line and then has lines going out the sides called whiskers. So sometimes it's called a box and whisker plot. It divides the data into 4 groups called quartiles. So you're dividing the data into quarters basically with the same number of values in each group. So let's look at an example. Let's say we have this data. The first thing we want to do is arrange the data in ascending order, so from smallest to biggest number. So that's what's happening here. 5 was the lowest number. The numbers are just rearranged all the way up to the highest number, 53. And then we want to find the median, the lower quartile, and the upper quartile. So the median is just the middle number. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 values. So the 6th value is right in the middle. If there was an even number of values of data items, then we would get the average of the 2 middle numbers. So if there's 2 numbers in the middle, to get the median, you take the average of them. The lower quartile and the upper quartile, those are often called quartile 1 or Q1. And then the upper quartile is Q quartile 3. So that's basically, it's like the median of the lower half. It's the middle of the lower half of the data. So here's the median right in the middle. So if you don't count that number, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 numbers in the lower half. So the third number is the middle of those lower 5 numbers. That's called the lower quartile or quartile 1. And then we have these upper 5 values. In the middle of those 5 values is 36. So that's the upper quartile, quartile 3. And then to graph, we make a number line. Our numbers are from 5 to 53, so this number line is trying to include all those values. We can go up to 50, and then we're just going to mark a little past that. So we want to mark the minimum value 5 and the maximum value 53, and then the quartiles and the median. And this is what it's going to look like. Here's the minimum. It starts at 5. There's a line going up to 12, the lower quartile. This line in the center of the box is the median, 22. And then we have the upper quartile, quartile 3, at 36. And then a line going out to the maximum value at 53. The last graph is a histogram. It groups the data and shows the frequency in each group. So the groups can kind of just depend on how much data there is. We group the data maybe in groups of 2 or 5 or 10. Again, it just depends on the data. And then we show the frequency that falls into the group. So here's an example. Below is a histogram of the number of servings of fruit 74 17-year-old students claim they eat per day. And then this is what a histogram looks like. So we have the frequency that answer that they have 0 servings of fruit. And this could also include like maybe half. Maybe they said a quarter or a half, anything that's like from 0 all the way up to 1. This wouldn't be anything from 1 to 2. So this may include like 1.5 servings of fruit. Same thing here. This is from anything from 2 to 3, 3 to 4, 4 to 5, and so on. And then this is bars going up to the frequency. So 17-year-old students answered that they have somewhere from 0 to 1 servings of fruit per day. That's a histogram.